All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever dreamed about building a huge YouTube channel, you already know the rulebook has been completely torn up. So today, we're going to break down the new playbook for 2026. It's a totally modern, strategic way to think about growth that's all about working smarter.
But first, let me ask you this. What if you could build an entire YouTube empire? One that generates income while you sleep, without ever, not once, having to show your face on camera. You know, this isn't some crazy pipe dream. For a lot of people, this is a very real, very profitable business model.
And the idea that makes this whole thing possible? It's called YouTube automation. This is the engine that's powering thousands of these faceless channels that are just quietly crushing it on the platform.
So what are we actually talking about here? Well, think of YouTube automation less like being a creator and more like being the CEO of a media company. You're basically building a content machine. You handle the big picture strategy, the niche, the video ideas, while a whole system of AI tools and talented freelancers handles the actual production.
And here's a look under the hood at how that machine actually works. It's a pretty slick system. First, you pick a profitable niche. Then, you can use AI like ChatGPT to write your scripts, other AI platforms like 11 Labs for super realistic voiceovers, and then software like Pictory to actually create the video. From there, you just outsource the finishing touches like editing and thumbnails, and then you use tools like TubeBuddy to make sure people actually find your stuff. It's a really powerful workflow.
But, and this is a huge but, I need you to understand this. This is not some low-effort, get-rich-quick scheme anymore. Back in the day, you could kind of get away with just pumping out generic, low-quality stuff. Not anymore. YouTube has completely changed the rules of the game.
The whole landscape shifted back in July of 2026. That's when YouTube dropped a major policy update targeting what they called inauthentic content. Really, it was a direct shot at all those channels, just churning out repetitive, cookie-cutter videos with zero human creativity. The bottom line now, the platform absolutely demands originality and genuine value.
And honestly, this quote from YouTube's official guidelines says it all. Automation should support your creativity, not replace it entirely. So yeah, AI and systems are fine. They're great tools, but they have to be used to enhance your unique ideas, not to replace them. That human touch is no longer optional. It is essential.
Okay, so to win in this new environment, you have to learn to speak the algorithm's language. You've got to understand what YouTube is really looking for when it decides which videos get shown to billions of people and which ones get buried.
And it all comes down to this one simple phrase: long-term viewer satisfaction. It's not just about getting a view anymore. The algorithm wants to know if the person who watched your video felt like their time was well spent. Were they satisfied? Did they stick around? That is the Holy Grail.
And what's really interesting is how the algorithm measures that satisfaction differently depending on the video format. For a standard long-form video, watch time is king. That signals deep engagement. But for a YouTube short, it's a totally different ballgame. The #1 metric is completion rate. Did people watch the whole thing? And right behind that is the swipe away rate. If people are swiping away from your short in the first second, it's toast. One is about deep focus, the other is about instant gratification.
All right, enough theory. Let's get into the practical, actionable plan. This is your step-by-step blueprint for building a high-growth channel in 2026. It's designed from the ground up to work with YouTube's new rules, not against them.
The whole strategy really stands on 3 core pillars. Get these right, and you're golden. First, you've got to find a high-value niche that can actually make you money. Second, you build that efficient production system we just talked about. And third, you have to become a master of SEO and thumbnails so people can actually find your videos.
So pillar 1, your niche, is absolutely crucial. You want to go after topics that have a high CPM. That just means cost per mil, which is a fancy way of saying how much advertisers are willing to pay per 1,000 views. As you can see, things like personal finance or tech pay way more than other topics. That means more money for the exact same number of views. So once that's locked in, you move to pillar 2, building your production system. That's the AI and freelancer workflow that's going to be your content engine. And once that engine is running, you get to the final pillar, making sure people actually find your amazing content. This part is completely non-negotiable. It means doing your keyword research and putting your main keyword right at the start of your title. And your thumbnail, it has to be custom-made. It needs to pop with high contrast colors and grab attention instantly. And if you need convincing, get this, a crazy 90% of the top-performing videos on all of YouTube use custom thumbnails. Finally, we got to talk about the single most powerful tool you have right now for insane channel growth: YouTube Shorts. Seriously, this is your secret weapon for getting discovered.
To give you an idea of the scale we're dealing with, just look at this number: 70 billion. That's how many times YouTube Shorts are viewed every single day. The audience is just astronomical, and it's your single best shot at getting in front of tons of new people, fast.
But here's the catch with Shorts. You have to live and die by one rule. The first 3 seconds are everything. That's it. That's the whole game. Viewers are in a state of constant swiping, so you have to give them a reason to stop instantly. No long intros, no fluff, just get right to the hook.
So, how do you turn all those short-form views into actual loyal subscribers? Use a funnel. Step 1, use a viral short to attract a huge new audience. Step 2, right at the end of the short, you have a clear verbal call to action, like, I did a full breakdown of this in the video link down below. And step 3, you link directly to your related long-form video. That's how you bridge the gap from a casual viewer to a real fan.
So all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these system-based approaches get more and more effective, what does that really mean for the future of content? Is the next generation of huge channels going to be built by a single creator or by a smart operator who's managing a powerful system? A lot to think about.